This month, at the Royal Palace in Oslo, Norway, a reception was held in honor of Paralympic athletes. In the footage, Crown Princess Mette-Marit of Norway walked into the hall with two thin, transparent tubes inserted into her nostrils, while an aide followed close behind carrying a portable oxygen concentrator. It was the first time she had appeared at an official royal engagement wearing supplemental oxygen equipment. The moment the photos dropped, the Norwegian press exploded, and the global media followed. Mette-Marit suffers from pulmonary fibrosis, an incurable chronic condition in which lung tissue progressively scars, making it increasingly difficult to breathe normally. In December 2025, the Norwegian royal family announced that her condition had deteriorated to the point where a lung transplant was being considered. In the months since, she has nearly vanished from public life, and no one found that surprising. People understood. For many people who don't closely follow royal news, the gut reaction was probably sympathy. The crown princess is so ill, yet she dragged herself out to fulfill her duties as if she were truly a devoted, conscientious royal in the mold of Britain's Princess Anne. But my read is completely different. I believe this appearance was not about an inability to let go of her responsibilities, not about pushing through illness out of dedication. This was a carefully orchestrated image operation. Think about what this scene was constructed to show. A gravely ill woman, oxygen tubes in her nose, forcing herself to show up at an uplifting, feel-good Paralympic reception. No scandals in the frame, no Epstein, no convicted son, just a crown princess who looked frail, resilient, and deeply sympathetic. This tableau did not happen by accident. The timing is too perfect to ignore. The Epstein file fallout has not settled. The trial of her illegitimate son Marius is still sending shockwaves. Nearly 70% of respondents said her tearful television interview failed to provide satisfactory answers. The Norwegian royal family's approval rating has sunk to a historic low, and right at this moment she reemerges, not at a contentious event, not to answer a single question, but at the safest, most emotionally disarming, hardest to attack venue imaginable. If she simply wanted to fulfill her duties, she could have attended any routine official function. No one would have stopped her, but she didn't. She chose the Paralympics. She chose the setting most likely to make people think this woman has it so hard. Those two oxygen tubes were the central props in this performance. The Norwegian public is not naive. They can see it clearly. How does someone who couldn't make it through a state visit from the Belgian royal couple suddenly manage to show up now? Not because her condition improved, because she needed this image. Sympathy is the cheapest currency for a comeback. What tears couldn't wash away, a hospital bed will try to. But the Norwegian public has already delivered its verdict. Approval ratings have not recovered, and 57% of respondents still say she is unfit to be the next Queen of Norway. That tells you something about where the public stands. Feeling sorry for someone and forgiving them are two entirely different things. To understand why Norwegians have lost patience with her so completely, you need to know what has unfolded over these past few months. Earlier this year, the U.S. Department of Justice released over 3 million pages of the Epstein files. Mette-Marit's name appears more than 1,000 times. The documents show that she maintained contact with Epstein from 2011 through 2014, met with him on multiple occasions, and spent 4 full days at his Palm Beach mansion in 2013. This directly contradicts her long-standing public claim that her contact with him had been limited. The most damning piece of evidence is a single email. In October 2011, she wrote to Epstein, "Googled you, agree, doesn't look good," followed by a smiley face. This was 2011. Epstein had already pleaded guilty in 2008 to soliciting a minor for prostitution. He was a convicted sex offender on record. She had Googled him, she knew it doesn't look good. And then she sent a smiley face, kept the friendship alive, kept staying at his properties, and kept sending him emails saying she missed her crazy friend. When the public pressure became impossible to ignore, she sat down before the cameras at NRK and said through tears, "I was manipulated, I was deceived." Norway's Prime Minister then publicly stated that he agreed with the Crown Princess's account, that her judgment had been poor. A sitting Prime Minister openly criticizing the judgment of the future Queen of Norway. That is something that has almost never happened in Norway. That interview was her biggest opportunity to turn things around. The result, nearly 70% of those surveyed said her answers were wholly inadequate. Clearly, tears did not buy forgiveness. Then there is a second thread that makes everything uglier. It is well known that Mette-Marit had a son before her marriage, Marius Borg. Not long ago, the Norwegian public prosecutor filed charges against Marius that include 4 counts of rape, with the number of alleged victims reaching into double digits. The night before his trial was set to begin, he was arrested again, this time on charges of threatening someone with a knife and violating a restraining order. Yet Mette-Marit's response left the Norwegian public cold. She has cited health reasons to miss a long list of official engagements, state visits, absent, diplomatic functions, absent, but she and Crown Prince Haakon reportedly made a special trip to the detention facility to visit Marius while he was being held on remand. She cannot make it to official duties, but she can make it to visit a son charged with raping multiple women. During the trial, media reports emerged that Mette-Marit was suspected of having tipped off her son about his impending arrest and of attempting to influence witnesses. While Marius's testimony in court did not substantiate any illegal conduct on her part, the allegation alone sent shockwaves through Norway. A woman already under intense scrutiny for her ties to Epstein, whose judgment her own prime minister publicly called into question, now suspected of playing a compromising role in her son's criminal proceedings. Whether or not the allegations hold, her conduct throughout has been watched and judged by the Norwegian people. Taken together, all of this is the real reason she needed those 2 oxygen tubes. So what does the Norwegian royal family do next? The British royal family offered one model. After the Epstein scandal, Prince Andrew was stripped of all his titles and removed entirely. Clean, decisive, at the cost of letting him take the fall alone. The Norwegian royal family has not gone that far. Commentators note that only the 89-year-old King Harald has the authority to strip her of her title, and most observers consider that outcome unlikely. In the meantime, institutions have already started acting on their own. Norway's largest sexual health organization, Sex Ogi Samfunn, revoked her honorary patronage, citing an irreconcilable conflict between her relationship with Epstein and the organization's values. Several cultural institutions have since sent letters indicating they are considering ending their partnerships with her. I suggest the most likely outcome is a gradual fade. She steps back citing health reasons, and Haakon eventually ascends to the throne alone. The palace makes no formal announcement, offers no official explanation. She disappears, but disappears without too much ugliness. If that is the path they choose, then this appearance with the oxygen tubes becomes all the more telling. Is she herself unwilling to simply fade away, or is the palace making one last test of public opinion, checking whether there is any remaining softness in the electorate? But the numbers have already answered that question. The royal family's approval rating has fallen to a historic low of 60%. Those numbers did not improve after the tearful interview. They are unlikely to improve after the oxygen tubes either. There is only one question the Norwegian royal family truly needs to answer right now. Will this woman actually become Norway's next queen? Every day that question goes unanswered, the monarchy bleeds a little more. My own prediction: the palace will take the soft landing route, using her health as cover to gradually remove her from public life, without ever formally cutting ties the way Britain did with Andrew, because a formal break requires acknowledging the problem, and acknowledging the problem carries a cost the monarchy is not willing to pay. What do you think? Will the Norwegian royal family eventually follow the British playbook and make a clean official break? Or will they just keep running out the clock? Tell me in the comments.